All right. So how's everyone feeling on this Sunday, almost afternoon? And it is afternoon for those of you who are joining us on the East Coast, and it's evening for anyone who's joining in Europe.
Great. What time is it in Europe right now?
It's 8:32.
8:32. Okay, it's not too bad.
Not too bad. And we have my cousin Johnny on the line too here. Yay. I see him from Maine. Hey, cousin Johnny, yay. So I think most of you guys are on the West Coast, though there are a few people. I think there's a couple people in Chicago. And Natalie, thanks for joining us from Europe. Where do you live in Europe?
For now, I live in Vienna, but I'm French. I've been here for a year only.
Oh, Vienna is so beautiful. We love Vienna. We love Vienna. The cake place is overrated, though. You know, the one that, the famous cake.
The Sacher Torte. Yeah, the Sacher Hotel in the Sacher.
Yeah, I think that cake is a little overrated, but the place is amazing. I could sit there and drink tea for days.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
So we do not have a particular topic or agenda today. Typically what we'll do is Anthony will go into trance for those of you who are new to the channeling process. I think it's about half and half on this call today. Oh, another person is waiting. Now this should not be happening. There we go. I think I just had to admit a few more people. All right, there we go. Hopefully no one's waiting in the outskirts there, unable to get in.
So for anybody who's new, I would just give you a quick rundown of how it works. When energy starts to flow through, it actually will flow through Renee's crown chakra first, and then through the solar plexus into mine, and then back up through my crown chakra. And it forms a three-dimensional triangle. We've been doing this for how long now?
6 years.
About 6 years.
But
yeah.
not 6 years publicly.
No.
I'd say only a few years more publicly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were a little bit discreet about it at first because we didn't understand what was happening. And Anthony needed to become more grounded because in the early days, we couldn't really go anywhere without spiritual energies wanting to connect with us wherever we went.
So our spiritual team, we don't have a particular name for them, but we just refer to them as our spiritual team, literally. And they make up a lot of different ascended masters.
Across humanity. So by ascended masters, we don't mean religious in any context at all, because there's no religious dogma in anything that we do. But they do make up ascended masters across cultures. So you will see Muhammad has come through, Buddha has come through, although they're clearly not our prime energies that we channel. Yeshua, otherwise known as Jesus, the soul of Yeshua, does come through. Mary Magdalene comes through, Mother Mary comes through, and angels come through, and gods and goddesses from ancient Egyptian time. So it really depends on who's on the call, because it's the souls of whoever we are engaging with at any one particular time is what brings the energies forth. So it's really not us that's doing it. It's your soul calling what comes forth. And that is to either give you a message or to do some healing.
It's always our team, though, will always come first all the time, and then they will allow others to come forth if it's necessary.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Let's see.
There we go. There's Instagram. All righty.
It's just ironic that I used to be in the tech industry, and not as an engineer, but as a marketing person. And I was pretty savvy technically. And yet now that we're doing all of this stuff through social media and so forth, it just seems to be more complicated.
Just as a side note, also, I'm by profession, I'm a speech and language therapist, and I still provide therapy to children with special needs. At this time, I work with children from about a year old to 3 years old. And so it's still something that I continue to do also. But this also is another part of our lives.
Okay. So anyway, does anybody have anything on their mind that they would like to have addressed today in general? Not specific questions yet. We'll start taking questions once our guides come through and Anthony goes into trance. But before we get started, are there any general themes that you'd like us to talk about today? You can, so there's different ways to do this. If you're on Instagram Live, we cannot take questions mainly because we have no one to manage it. Sorry. But on Zoom here, we can take questions, and I'm going to try my best to do that on Facebook Live as well. But if there's any general themes, those in the Zoom chat, you can raise your hand. There's a way to kind of raise your hand at the bottom of the screen, or you can unmute yourself, ask a question. Obviously, when you're done asking the question, turn your microphones back on mute so it doesn't create extra noise for people in the feed. Or you can just text it. Tali just said, oh, from New York, great, yay. Or you can just text it in the Zoom group chat. So we're just curious if there's any general themes that you'd like us to talk about today.
Also, by the way, I have allergies, so my nose is a little bit sniffly.
Yeah.
You might hear me sniffle.
So.
Well, a lot of the COVID things, what's going on with that is on the top of my mind. And one of the things that's most shocking is the censorship of just people asking questions, people having different opinions, and that it's the censorship feels so intense. So I'd like to know.
When you talk about censorship, what are you speaking about? Censorship of?
Well, they're censoring anybody that's questioning safety of vaccines, questioning anybody, or censoring people who are wanting to do anything different than what's coming from, like, Dr. Fauci about this, shelter in place.
Right.
And yeah, so I've been following it really closely, especially through the Children's Health Defense and Robert Kennedy and the work he's doing. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if our guides will have any information about that.
Yeah.
I'll just pick up on that, Janine, because I think that's really the basis of a broader question of how can we bring the world together to become a better world, and where we love each other and work together to solve problems together. We're all connected by a higher level of energy, but for some reason we can't all embrace that in a way that where we come together and try to help each other. So if your guides have any insight to that would be great.
Okay, great. Awesome.
All right.
I wanted to ask also something about Galaxy. I mean, I know my spirit is from there, and I know they were trying to guide us towards some direction, and I wanted to know if there is any connection and if they're still helping us towards that direction, and if there is anything we can do to help.
The galactic?
Well, no, not yet, but I think that's what she's referring to.
Yeah, okay.
So. Okay.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah, actually, so specific questions.
Oh, no, not a specific question, something that I'd like to maybe have you guys address.
Okay.
I just wondering if there's a special frequency right now that we should be tuning into. I do a lot of sound, and I work a lot with, frequency with sound. So I was just kind of wondering if the Ascended Masters or anybody that you're working with has a specific frequency that could be used and utilized at this time to just keep, to just bring a little bit more of the evolution, like helping me with my clients or with people in general when I do, sound healing and things. If there's anything that can be said about that, that would be helpful.
Most definitely. We are huge advocates of sound for healing. Absolutely. We use it as well. We use crystal bowls, we use Tibetan bowls, chimes, and other.
Yeah, and
so-
before I actually show you, what bowl are we going to be using the bowl today?
Yeah, actually I have the, it's an A note frequency, which is the, associated with the pineal gland. So I usually use that to bring our guides through. It's amazing when I use A or B on the crystal bowl, our guides come through like that.
Yeah, I use the Mary Magdalene was 153. I use that as a tuning fork for Mary Magdalene. That seems to work quite well.
I'm glad that, so considering that you have a connection to Mary Magdalene, the chances of her coming through are very high. So her energy, I'm sure, will come through to speak. But yeah, absolutely. Our guides are always telling us that they literally ride off the frequencies of music. So when we play music, we bring these guides through and they'll communicate with us in various ways. Obviously, in our case, they literally come through, plug into Anthony's field, and they communicate that way. So for those of you who are new to that, they do not fully embody Anthony. It appears that they do, but what they're doing, that you guys are familiar with the chakra system and you're familiar with auric fields, they literally just plug into his energy field. And when they plug into that field, that's how they communicate and can connect. They're starting to come through now, yes. But it is through sound waves and frequencies that makes it easier for them to connect. And that's why, mudras and chanting and, all of these repetitive prayers, meditations, that's why it's so much easier for them to connect to our dimension. All right, so they're coming through now. I just wish music would translate better on Zoom because you often get an interference. They're really like children.
It is always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia. Thank you for receiving us.
Nice to see you guys on this Sunday.
You have pretty beads.
Thank you.
You look pretty today.
Thanks, guys. We are live here. So usually when they first come through, they are just feeling and sensing different people's energies to get an idea of who is with us at a soul level. So they can feel into your auric field, they can connect to you, providing that you're open. And so just bear in mind, all of this is free will. If your soul doesn't want to connect, that's completely fine. Just by being in this frequency, as Valerie was asking, healing will come through.
We are here to give you love, service, gratitude. All of the information that we are going to provide to you comes from source energy. This source energy is an energy that runs directly through all of you, all human beings, all creatures, all things. You are all part of source energy, whatever it is that you decide to call it, God or goddess. It doesn't matter. What is most important is this: know that you are of love. And because you are of love, you too are God or goddess. You can take this love that you have during this period and you move it. You give it to others. It's pretty much that simple. It's a message that's been given to you for thousands and thousands of years. It hasn't really changed. However, human beings have evolved, and you are evolving at this very moment as well. You are doing what you refer to as an ascension process, or you are going through a change, a spiritual change. Isn't that so, Gaia?
Yes.
Now, 1 second, please.
How is the sound, everyone? Sound is great. Okay.
There is no distance between you, all of you, and us. Remember these things. There is no space and time as you know it. As we always tell you, you are the space and time, and that you are always connected to us, and there is no difference between you and us. We are only here waiting to communicate with you, all of you light workers, all of those that are joining at this time, so that you may continue to do your work. Your earth has gone through a process. It has already made a shift. But things take time. Give time where time is needed, even if that is what we say. There really is no time, is there?
No.
It is just a process.
Or a perception.
That is correct. Now, would they like to ask questions?
Yes, we do have people who would like to ask questions. So let's see. I know that there were several people who wanted to address things. Janine wanted to talk about. Janine, why don't you just be more specific about what you'd like them to elaborate on?
Well, there's huge censorship in Facebook, you know, on all the channels, YouTube, Facebook, or platforms, I guess you call it, the media. I mean, it's just very, very, very one-sided. I've never, ever seen anything like this in my life. I was just typing in on Facebook of why isn't it that we don't have a debate? I mean, I'd love to see, instead of just cutting people off and they can't even get themselves heard on Facebook, doctors about what they're seeing. But if their opinion's different than what they want us to hear, whoever they are.
You're talking about censorship around COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19, and that's also tied into vaccines and tied into 5G and our basic rights to know what's right for our own bodies and our health, and even beyond that. And this forgetting that we have an innate immune system that is strengthened by living with nature. And this is being threatened. And it's so interesting because some of these vaccines that they're starting to test on people for COVID, there's a big uproar about it, about the safety. And why aren't the people who are recommending these testing them on themselves?
Right. So that's a great question, because one of the things that we had talked about earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I think, was that these vaccines that are coming out, and some of our doctor friends are saying the same thing, that it's being so quickly rushed to market, that not the appropriate testing is being done on some of these vaccines. So she wants to know around the censorship. Maybe that's why we can't go on YouTube live. They're not letting us go live on YouTube.
Great soul, Janine. This is not the only time or the first time that you've been censored. You are highly empathic and you are highly sensitive to all of this information. We know what you feel, we understand, and we do understand the importance of returning back to, as you refer, the basics, going back to nature. Believe it or not, this COVID-19 coronavirus is, in a sense, bringing you back to nature. It is bringing you back to the communities that you live in. It is demonstrating to the world that the big corporations cannot exist anymore the way they once did. You must go to the communities in which you are living. It is through your own communities that you will connect more spiritually as well. Now, we understand that there is censorship, but there has always been censorship. Now, you're wondering, why is it that it appears to be more now than it ever has been? It's not always that, it is not always the case. However, would you like to hear something that there are essences out there beyond your understanding that do not wish to see human beings evolve and ascend to the point where they are going to be eventually? This is what we believe you are speaking about. We can only tell you these things. Great soul, old soul. The most important thing that you do is stay in the light, stay in the vibrational patterns of love. We understand what it is that you're trying to do, and we applaud you for it. Continue to be on your path, but do not allow all the negativity to become a part of your frequencies. That is not where you want to go. Be aware of it, but rise above it, as they say. There will always be those within your own government and within the governments of the earth that will try to control human beings. There are things outside of your own governments that are at work here, forces. We will refer to them as things that are much further from the light. They do not wish to see you evolve into the spiritual beings that you are going to evolve into. Although this is going to take time, time is one thing that is on your side. The vaccines that are being rushed, please take caution with all of these things. There is no one particular vaccine that's going to save any human being from this, for that the virus is constantly evolving itself.
And mutating.
That is correct.
Those of you who are on our private Facebook Blue Soul Circles, if you're not, I'll type in the link for it. I had posted a couple of images that came from doctors of ours on the front line, and it essentially shows 3 different graphs of how COVID-19 has mutated since it left Asia, and it's hundreds of different strands that it's actually mutated into. So anyway, this is, if you're not part of our group, I just posted the link there, and the images are on there showing by country and by region how many different strains there are and how many times it literally mutated just between Australia and the United States.
This is not the end of the mutation. This is not the end of the viral infection. It will occur again and again. Slowly, little by little, human beings, the immune system, your capacity to heal yourselves is truly the key here. Your industries or big pharma that you call it, well, you know what that is all about, don't you?
We do.
No need to speak about that. Let us try to stay in the highest vibrations as we can. We will continue to take your questions. We know how you feel. But remember, you're all here for a reason. You are all high light being souls who are very old indeed. If you were not here, if you were not receptive to the message, you wouldn't be here in the first place. We hope, Janine, that you feel love. For during this time, this is the most important, to feel love, to feel gratitude, and continue to work the earth and to be a guardian of these things that are natural, homeopathic, and continue to send out your messages. We are in gratitude to you.
Thanks. We have a private message, so I won't mention her name, but it's a great question. Curious about the presidential elections. Will we see a change next year for more kindness and more acceptance of others? Wondering if this will come through in the outcome of the election. I know also that regardless of the elections, people's action every day are what are most important regardless of who is in charge. I think they just answered this by going back to nature. Can't go on. Does this mean the gig economy is truly the way of the future?
No, it really isn't.
But you can talk about the corporations and how that's going to shift, and also the elections.
The elections. We are not here to make predictions. We don't tell the future. The future, as you know, doesn't really exist. Everything exists in a quantum field. That quantum field is made up of probabilities and synchronicities. But we will give you what we believe is the greatest probability concerning your government. Will there be a change? The probability of that happening appears to be, or it outweighs the fact that the one in the government at this time will be there. We are seeing that there will be a change within your government structure. Little by little, more compassion and love will come back once again. Your country is divided. Your world is divided. This is only a small stop, if you will, as a way to invoke a sense of community, of world community for all of you. A time to stop and to see that you're all truly connected as one, and that it is only compassion and love that will bring back or bring you close to the source energy that you are. What you're seeing happening here in this particular place at this particular time is happening all over the world. So, yes, now you mentioned gig economy. Gig economy, things that are big, connected. You understand that your gig economy now, that the whole world is connected to each other by a touch of a button. Know this also, that you are more connected now than you have ever been before. This is just a sample of how you're all connected. As we told you before, there is no space and time. We are here, you are here with us. We are combining with your energies at this very moment. If you want to call that a gig economy, then you can. That everything is truly connected. Is it not, Gaia?
It is indeed.
However, after this period, you will start to understand the importance of how important it is to have compassion for each other. The very things that you took for granted, you will not take for granted anymore. Do not forget these things. We believe you will not. Are there more questions for us?
Yes, there are. From Tali, great question. As we focus on the coronavirus now, we forget about climate change. How can we focus our energy back there? Is this part of those negative spirits trying to prevent us from going there? Great question.
You are not forgetting about climate change at all. Believe it or not, Gaia is regenerating herself even more now as we speak. You've seen it in the last 2 to 3 months. Less planes in the air, cleaner waters. This should be a wake-up call for all of humanity that you cannot continue to pollute your planet from the very thing that feeds you. We'll put it to you simply. Gaia has a way of correcting herself. You are as much a part of this planet as Gaia is a part of you. There is no separation between you and Gaia. There are, again, as we've mentioned before, energies out there that want to continue to make you feel as if you are separated from her and that you are separated from source energy. And you are not. For you are the source energy. You are the Gaias. You are the gods and the goddesses. You are the princess and the princes. You are all of these beautiful light beings that have never been separated. This is your time now and our time to connect with you, to allow you to know these things, that you are of light beings. We need you, especially during this time, to go out and spread your light, spread your words, speak your truth.
Without fear.
Of course, without fear.
I just wanted to add that. There's a lot of plugging into the fear grid right now. So.
Do not plug into fear, for that is truly the opposite of love. And love is what you are, prime source. It is the only thing, if there is anything that is permanent, we always say, if there is permanence in the universe, what is permanent is love. Remember that. More questions, please.
Yes. Was our human DNA interfered with to keep us from fully awakening? And if so, how do we unlock it? Great question, by the way.
One second.
Yeah.
1 second, please.
So who's familiar with galactic energies? Probably not everyone on the call, but I have a feeling the galactic team that we channel as well, they're going to come through. And how they communicate through us is different than the angelic realm and the spiritual ascended masters. How the galactic beings, if you like, connect is through Anthony's consciousness. That's how they connect. They use his consciousness to communicate. So they will come through to address this question. The answer is yes, by the way, but much easier to unlock it, so to speak, than you think.
We are your galactic team. We are here to respond to the question about which you are speaking concerning your DNA structures, your strands. You wish to know, has your DNA been corrupted? You come from many different sources of light beings, those of which you know of, those of which you do not know of as yet. Your DNA structures have been made to be perfect in all ways. At this very moment, we are opening your DNA more. We are working with the DNA structures, which are part of your consciousness. We are your star family. We are here to protect you during this ascension period. We have your best interests in mind. You are our brothers and you are our sisters. And we are here to assist you in any way that you see fit. Please call upon us. 1 second, please.
About the DNA interference.
There is DNA interference, and that is correct. However, it is less and less and less now. There are beings within your own galactic realm that do not wish to see you advance. But do not worry, they are lessening more and more. The hold on which they have been upon your species as a humans is lessening now. They do not wish to let go. However, that can no longer occur, for your planet has made the shift. From the early 2000s, a shift occurred.
Another in 2012 and another more recently, right? In the last few months.
Yes, it has completed the shift. Now your DNA is, as you refer to it, is becoming crystallized. That is to say that it is allowing more light, more vibrational patterns, and higher frequencies to resonate with it. It is like a giant tsunami at this time. It cannot be stopped.
Will you speak to how, and this will also speak to your question as well, is that it doesn't take a very big percentage for the entire shift to happen. So it's only about 1%, isn't that correct, of people who shift their consciousness to a higher vibration and field, in which to have a snowball effect on the rest of humanity.
You are correct. That is accurate. We will liken it and make a simile to, if you want to look at dominoes, one domino pushes another and another and another. One snowflake builds and can create an avalanche. So this is what is occurring now on your planet. There is a domino effect occurring. More of you are opening up more frequently now than ever before. More of you are channeling the way that Anthony and Renee channeled together. You are becoming connected more with the source energy that you truly are, as we are. One day you will be similar to us. Your Palladian relatives, if you will, have also gone through this process millions of years ago. You are going through the process now.
Jeff has a question.
Question.
I understand that there are, I guess we'd call them beings that are gathering souls to take them, that are to other places to continue, that these are beings that have kind hearts, kind souls that are taking to a less denser karmic area to continue. And I had heard that there are these other beings coming, or they're already here, called waker beings, and they're helping to wake our soul to our purpose.
Jeff,
Do you mean, when you say beings, do you mean energies, or do you mean energies that have incarnated in order to assist or to accelerate the ascension process?
From what I understand, it's energy beings.
1 second, please. We will call back your spirit team.
Okay.
It is always an honor to be here among all of you. We are here with you. We are the galactic team of Renee and Anthony, but we wish you to know this as well, that we are here with you as well. You may call upon us, feel our energies. Your planet is protected at this time. 1 second while we step back.
Okay.
Your team will come through.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for receiving us.
Thank you. So they're stepping back. Think of it as sort of a collective of thousands of energies speaking collectively as one voice. And now that they're stepping back, our spirit team, which is more of the ascended masters, are coming forth now, coming forward, you could say.
That is correct. We will try to answer the question that was given by the very old soul. Jeff, first and foremost, you must know this thing. No soul is captive. A soul may decide on where it decides to go, and it may be in one place at multiple times in multiple realms within a multiverse at any given time, as yours is, as theirs is, as all of your souls are at this particular time. Are there beings out there that are capturing your souls, if you wish to say that? We will tell you this: no, there is no being that can control your soul. For your soul has a free will, and it has been given free will. Just as this very time, you have the free will to decide what it is that you want to do in your lifetime, in this particular realm, at this particular thread of time. Now, there are beings out there, that is funny, around you, if you will, that are here to assist you. We are part of them. We are here to assist you, to assist your soul in an ascension process, if you will.
Well, a different word could be good.
Ascension, that means going up. We only say ascension or going up because it is rising or raising your vibrational patterns, raising your frequencies, and literally changing your DNA structures. In time, you will understand these things. What is most important at this time, however, Jeff, is that you stay in these great vibrational patterns. What you're doing and what you're giving to others is also very important, Jeff, and you know these things. And we applaud you, and we give you our peace, our gratitude, and all of the energies that we have as a collective unto you. Continue your journey and be of the love and the light that you truly are, for there is no one else uniquely like you. You can say that again.
So actually related to that, this came up before you guys came through, as it was about sound and frequency. And I believe that was through Natalie, actually.
Sound and frequency. Remember this: your soul is a frequency. You decide on how you wish to vibrate and at which frequency you decide to vibrate. Now, as we told Renee and Anthony from the very beginning, we literally glide or ride upon the sounds that you create. If you wish to create high levels of musical tones, we will glide upon them. We come through the ancestors from the drumming, the flutes, and all of the things that they have created. We come through the bowls of crystal. We come through crystal stones, all of the high light instruments that you have created, the hums and the drums, the chants, and the singing.
Kirtan.
We are there. It is of no coincidence that you have created these beautiful instruments to create incredible frequencies of music. What is the tone that will best connect us at this time? We will tell you this. Go with those that are connected first to the heart chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. We are hoping and wishing now and setting the intention that you will all, as light workers, connect all of your clients and your students to higher realms and higher vibrations. Do that as a means. Do that with which you are practicing. Only you know what your client needs best, but we wish that they all connect firstly through the heart for compassion and love. Open them spiritually through the third eye and then have them connect to source energy through the crown chakra. We hope that this answers your question, old soul.
Related to that, is there a role for us who know that they're from galactic energy or they have galactic energy, which is pretty much all of us? Is there a special mission for us during these times, or does our mission remain the same? It's really about just connecting to the light and connecting to love and bringing everybody around you into that same frequency of love and light. Hi, guys.
Yes, that is correct. Has your mission changed? No. However, your energy has shifted. At this very moment and during the times past, your energy has shifted and your earth has shifted now at this time. Your mission at this time, it hasn't changed, but it has become even more important than it was before. Take this time to reach as many as you possibly can, to create a domino effect of all souls so that they may ascend or vibrate at a higher frequency. We applaud all of your offers, all of your efforts to do these things with all with whom you are working. Remember who you are. You are always of light and love first and foremost. You are the God and you are the goddesses. Remember that. Please give these messages on to the others so they too may connect. They are not separate from us, for we are you and you are we. We are many, and you wish to know whether you are separate from all of the galactic that come into your spaces to assist you, and you are not. You are star beings in the greatest sense of the word. More questions, please.
Yes. Did that answer your question, Natalie, about music and frequencies? I think it was you who asked that, or no? Or Valerie. It was Valerie. I apologize. Yeah, it was
Yes.
Valerie.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
She also works with tuning forks.
She, as we would say, is not around or from this neighborhood. But that is not important. What is most important is the work that she's doing. It doesn't matter where you're from, which planet you come from, the language you speak, the frequency that you have. What is most important is the work that you're doing at this particular time. When you do a work as a light worker, whatever means you use, you are always raising your frequencies and vibrating at a higher amplitude, a higher vibration.
Yes. Does anyone have another question?
I just have a comment. I was wondering that the people that are new here, can they ask a question about themselves, or does it have to be on a broader spectrum?
Well, I think if it's too personal in the time period that we've allocated for this,
Right.
we probably won't go too deep because that can take some time. As you know, it can take some time.
I was just asking for new people out there in case maybe they had a question, but they weren't sure if they should ask it or not.
Well, I would say for new people, it would be better to come to one of our Blue Soul Circles, which is not broadcast live. And it's a little bit more, well, it's more secure and it's more private. So if we're talking about personal stuff, or doing any kind of personal, deeper work, information about past lives, or even healing, it would be really better for the Blue Soul Circles because they're more confined and they're not live broadcast. So that's a little bit how we differentiate the live channeling too, because we want to respect everyone's privacy as well.
1 second, please. 1 second, please.
Magdalene wants to come through.
Yes.
Okay, Mary Magdalene wants to come through. Not surprised. There must be some energies on this call, Valerie being one of them, that's calling her forth. And that's what we mentioned earlier, is that you guys really determine which energies come through.
I am Mary of Magdala. I'm here to give you a message, especially to the females here listening. We know that there are males here as well, and we respect you. I respect you for the fact that you are here at this very moment. I too love all of you, and I want you to know this. I will be there for you. I will be there next to you whenever you call me. Remember, I am an energy as well, and I work next to the energy that you refer to as Joshua or Yeshua, even Isa at times, or Jesus. For I was there with him as well, and we work together, both feminine and masculine energies together. This is what's occurring now at this particular time. I am able to come through both Renee and Anthony, and I'm able to speak again. My voice can be heard. Please take note of this. There is a great shift and a great occurrence occurring on your planet at this particular time. The female energy, the energies of who you are now coming into the light. Let me say this to all of the female energies out there. It is your time. Now it is time to speak your word, to speak who you are, and not to have any fear. This is occurring now all over the world. They will not and no longer be able to keep us down. As it was in the past, it will not be like this any longer. For I am Mary of Magdala, Miriam Magdalene. I am who I am. As Yeshua would say to you, I say these things to you as well. There is no separation between who you are and who we are. It was a message that I gave over 2,000 years ago, but it was lost. Now, those energies that try to confuse you, keep you in the dark. They are slowly dissipating and they must let go. They are hanging on for dear life at this very moment, but I will not allow that to occur anymore. I am coming through many other women at this time to give this message to all of you. Have no fear, for I am here to assist all of you at this time as well. I will be the woman, I will be the energy that will pick you up and carry you. You say, hear me, woman, I am woman, hear me roar. Is that not true? Then hear yourself roar, the lioness that you are, the mother bear who protects her cubs. No more do I say this to you. Will you be set down? Will you be lowered, abased? And all of the horrible things that has happened to us as women. Now speak your word, work your magic, heal as only women know how to do. For we were the original healers, and now it comes back that we still are the original healers. 1 second, please.
Jeshua wants to come through.
1 second, please.
I think Jeshua wants to come through and also convey a message. They often come through together, one after the other. What's interesting, though, is when that happens, Magdalene will come through first. And the reason that we are noticing that is done, it's to kind of set the new paradigm and to set the paradigm and almost change timelines, if you like, that rather than Jeshua coming first, Magdalene comes first to reestablish the shift that's happening.
I am the soul of Yeshua. For now it is time that your planet makes that shift, that both divine masculine and divine feminine work together as one, that you understand who you truly are. You are God. You are the Father. You are the Son. You are the Holy Spirit. You are a goddess. You are the daughter. You are the breath of God. There is no separation between any of you. I wish you to know that. I am now who I am. Christos energy runs through all of you. Around this planet is love. Remember that.
Are we able to do a transmission from you and Mary to
Yes.
shift people's energy?
Your hand is needed.
So those of you who are willing to receive and would like to receive, they'd like to do a transmission of some energy.
Seraphim energy now coming.
Seraphim energy is going to join Jeshua and Mary Magdalene for the healing and for the energy transmission. The seraphim energy that comes through is very strong. Very strong. So think of this as more like frequency adjustments. And again, if your soul is not open to it, it won't happen. It's all permission based. So just know that. If you want to receive, you will receive. They're adjusting frequencies that are, think of it as energy grids. So things that no longer serve us are removed, and things that help us connect to a higher dimension are added. It's like tuning of a car in a way. This is an energy we're still getting used to.
Your galactic family was here to do a little bit
Of adjusting.
yes, adjusting, a fine-tunement of your,
Energy grids.
that is correct.
Do you want to explain for people who are new what that does? Because it can sound scary if you're new to this.
An energy grid is a grid that is associated with your planet. Your entire planet is an energy grid. You might consider it a matrix of sort. You are a part of that energy grid. As we told you from a spiritual standpoint, you are part of Gaia. Now, as an energy grid, see it as a three-dimensional grid. Your entire planet. You too are like a three-dimensional grid as well. You are simply being realigned to this grid. When you become realigned to the Gaia grid, you become a part of her even more, and you start to understand the importance of communication with Gaia, that again, that you are not separate, that you are connected to her. Gaia herself, the grid, if you want to call it that, too, is in communication with source energy, which you refer to as either God or Goddess. Or Renee says the universal soup.
Universal consciousness or cosmic soup.
Cosmic soup, we like that. So that's all it is that our, or your, or we, however you want to describe it, are doing at this particular time. There are your galactic family that will come through and give you adjustments, and that is just what happened at this particular time. The energies of both Yeshua and Mary also are connecting their energies with all of you at this particular time. Please feel free to call upon them as well.
As well as seraphim energy.
Yes,
through.
that is correct. That is a very, very strong energy with which we are connecting with at this particular time to give this to all of you as well. Are there any more questions? We feel that the time now.
I was just going to say the timing, it's already, it's been a little over an hour. So
The first things that we want to tell you is this. Remember who you are. You are not separate. You are of Goddess, God, source energies, prime. Remember, there is no separation from you. Do not allow anyone to tell you that. Second, there are energies around you within this grid that do not want you to even be here at this particular time. We say this to you. There are many different spiritual healers out there. Know the spiritual healers that you resonate with the most.
Yeah, that you're aligned with.
Yes, and go with them. For there are many beautiful spiritual healers and light workers out there with whom you can connect and continue to raise your vibration.
But
Please do
have
so.
discernment, right?
That is correct.
It all comes down to love. And if you're not feeling that their work comes from a place of divine love, then that's something at a soul level you just want to question or have discernment about and make sure it's in alignment with who you are.
And remember that you have free will. No one tells you what to do or how to believe. You are the guru of who you are. There are many teachers out there. You may follow them and follow their advice, but remember, you are the true guru of your own soul. And with that, we will bid you good night, good day.
So our guides are going to leave, and Anthony will be back just in a minute. And sometimes he has other observations and insights after he comes out of trance that he may want to share with you all. So after you guys leave and Anthony comes back.
We do appreciate you receiving our energies and being in alignment with us as well during this most difficult time that you are having upon the earth realm. But remember, this is nothing more than a blip on the big screen of everything, believe it or not.
Okay.
Time to go.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
We don't go very far.
Yeah, they never leave they never go too far. And what's interesting is how the emotional states that either Anthony or I are in will bring them forth with a message. So if there's some kind of emotional reaction in any way, that will bring them forth instantaneously, even if we're reading a book or watching a movie. So emotion or a past life remembrance will bring them through, where they'll come through and say, yes, the reason you're feeling this resonance right now is because you experienced this in a past life. So it's fascinating. You back?
Yes.
Yay.
Wow.
Yay, yay, yay. And Tali, I'm sorry we didn't get to your question, which is interesting, actually. But I'm sure we can get to that one in the future for sure. And anyway,
I want to thank all of you for just being
Yeah.
here and being a part of this and a part of our community and allowing us to give our channeling and everything that we do for all of you as well. And I can tell you this, that the spirits, the spirit guides that come through us, the galactic, the angelic realms, they are literally always in tears that they're overjoyed with what all of you are doing.
Yeah.
And the light that you're giving to all the others as well, because that's one of the most important things that we need at this particular time.
Stay in the light, stay unplugged from the fear grid, and just focus on these higher vibrational energies. So actually this week, I think a few of you know, but maybe not everyone, we are doing our first online courses starting this week. Yay. So starting on Wednesday, we're going to do, that's going to kick off. It's a four-week program, and it's going to be about how to connect to your spirit guides and how to connect to higher levels of consciousness. So that will meet once a week on Wednesdays from 5:30 to 7. And we have 5555 on it, $55.55. That's the angelic number our guides wanted us to go with, because 55.55 means significant change. So related to numerology. So anyway, that's going to kick off. Well, there's actually going to be a curriculum. So yes, we're going to be doing live channeling, but we actually have a curriculum with each week is going to build on each other. And so this is how to connect to your own personal guides and your higher self. So that's what we'll focus on for those 4 Wednesdays in May. And then the second thing we're doing is about abundance and prosperity, which everyone's been asking us about that. So because of that, we decided to do that. And that's going to be on, we just moved it to Saturday morning because we had a few Europeans interested. And so we changed it to Saturday morning at 11:30 for the first 2 Saturdays of May, the 3rd Sunday and the 4th Saturday. So in other words, every weekend, but it was supposed to be on 4 Saturdays, but we had a conflict on 1 Saturday. So 2 Saturdays, 1 Sunday, and 1, hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, any of you guys who are interested in that, I'll just put where, this is very cool that we actually updated our website so that you don't have to just go to, Eventbrite to find out about this stuff. So it's under our what we're calling Study with Spirit. So you can just view everything that we've got going on up there. But those are the 2 online courses we're doing this month, and we will do 2 Blue Soul Circles in May.
Yeah.
Because we have so many other things going on, and maybe 1 more of these, 1 more of the live channeling, maybe 2. And then in June we've got some cosmic stuff coming out of talking about quantum fields and plugging into quantum fields. We'll be doing that in June. So I think we're going to definitely get some more men in that one. There seems to be more men interested in the quantum consciousness and quantum field stuff. So we're doing that for 4 weeks. And they're all $55.55. That's the price of all the courses. And then the other one we're doing in June is Connecting to Mary Magdalene. So she's going to come through and lead everything for her course in June. And we have no idea what to expect. We sort of have an agenda, but she doesn't really.
Sometimes she has her own agenda.
She has her own agenda. So we're just going to lead it to her to kind of guide that. But we'll do some historical stuff on Mary Magdalene, but also, you know, a lot around healing. So I think any of you who are healing practitioners would be interested in that, because we'll be talking about fields of energy and tapping into those quantum fields of energy. So anyway, we thank you all. We thank you all.
Renee, I had sent you an email with John, the Beyond the Ordinary questions you were asking. Did you get that?
I don't think so, no, but we would love to do that.
Okay, I sent it about maybe a week and a half ago.
Okay. You just resend it, because
Okay.
I'd love to reach out to him to do something with him. That would be awesome.
Do you know who it is who I was talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
okay.
resend it, because I get thousands of
Yeah,
emails.
I realize you get a lot of emails. Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much, Valerie. Oh, Patty.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes. Oh, you signed up for the course. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually so confused because it's the first time we actually took registrations through our website. And originally the designer who set it up didn't set it up for anyone to put their names in. Like, major oversight. So we have email addresses of people who registered to the website, but not their names. And then of course on Eventbrite, you get everything. So I'm still trying to manage that. I'm trying to figure out whether that was a good decision or a bad decision. The nice thing about it is it avoids the Eventbrite fee, right?
Which is not so bad.
No, it's only a couple dollars.
No, yeah. It's not going to break the piggy bank.
No, I know. It was just, I mean, the other logic was getting people on our website, right? So that they could learn more about things that we're doing, that because we don't post everything on Eventbrite. Most of it we do, but anyway, yeah. So I'm glad that you're going to be part of that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we are too, because we don't know what to expect. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the teaching that we do. It's not just us. I mean, it's like, it's literally, we have an agenda and a curriculum and an idea of what we're going to do, but then they'll come through and probably shift things because everything's dynamic.
They will try to stick to a curriculum so
Yeah, they
that
will.
each person can really build on his and her own energies.
Yeah.
So that each person can connect in his and her own unique way.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different ways of connecting, and there are so many different energy sources that you're connected with. They always say they don't care how you connect. They just want you to connect.
And I always used to feel too, because Anthony can sit for hours and meditate. And I was always like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Because he can go for hours, right? He's gone in another dimension. So for me, I can't connect that way. So for the longest time, regardless of how many retreats I did and whatever, I kept thinking that I was doing it wrong. And yet, when I'm on my paddleboard and I'm talking to birds and they're talking back to me, there's so many different ways to connect, right? So for me, it's music and nature.
Yeah.
And I get into the zone, or I have these downloads and the dreams, early lucid dreams in the morning, where I get downloads and I got to run downstairs and say, oh my God, I don't know why I got to go to this website. I have no idea. Or I think we're supposed to work with this person, or, I get these crazy dramatic things where I got to run, and Anthony gets none of that. So it's just, there's different ways to connect. I say to him, what book should we do for our study spirit this month? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, the great books, the books have been actually great. I just got the Magdalene manuscripts. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, great.
And then the other one on the Akash, Human Akash too. I just ordered that from you guys last time when you were talking about the books. I think that's great that you're actually doing that. It's super helpful because there's a lot out there.
It's interesting because, we decided not to do the Study with Spirit book thing for May because we had, it's great having a small group. There's no problem with that. It's just, Janine, when you used to come to our Study with Spirit in person, Jeff did too, right? Didn't you guys both come?
Yeah.
It's super powerful in person. And that was people's favorite. They wanted to come and do that. And so I don't know if it's translating as well online. I think it's the most exciting thing we do because I love our new format of 4 weeks. I cannot wait for this. But, the thing about the Study with Spirit around a book, I'm excited about it because we're constantly reading. Yeah. And we do get help for curating it from our guides. And so I do think it's powerful, but it's kind of hard to explain that. It's like the best book group you'll ever be in.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's unique. But we took away the name book group because it seemed, first of all, book groups are free. And, actually the price that we have on it is really low though. It's like $22, but it's still, people think of book groups as free. And then the second thing is it doesn't translate that we actually channel and bring spirits, spiritual energies and ascended masters through. So that's why we changed it to Study with Spirit, which is kind of elusive.
Which is great.
So I don't know. We do want to do them again. It's just, we need to, I think, maybe better educate people what they're about.
I guess.
Imagine the best book group that you've ever gone through to study about spirituality and consciousness. And
yeah, it's I think it's super clever. I think it's just like it was a very bright, whatever inspiration you guys had, because it's very helpful. I mean, I know I wanted to learn a bit more about Mary Magdalene, and I just went on that, and then you were talking about the manuscript, and I know Tom Kenyon, and I know he's legit, but I didn't know how legit was the story, right? It's always about getting some clarity about who's channeling it, if it's channeled properly, if it's somebody's point of view again.
Well, this is what our guides will say, and Magdalene has actually addressed this. She will say it's fairly accurate. So
yes.
Say that it's not completely the truth, but that's what she has said
But
in this timeline.
Yeah.
So and
Yes.
I'm bummed that Tali left the call, because Tali was asking about, she's Israeli, and she was asking about the Abraham energy and the offspring of Jeshua and Mary Magdalene. And
Oh, yes.
what our guides will say is that she had one child in this timeline.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Which means our Earth reality.
Yeah.
So that's why there's all these different variances, but certainly all the stuff in the Mary Magdalene manuscripts about the Isis energy, there was this whole, they called it a cult of Isis, which women trained in Egypt. It's really gnosis.
Yeah, it is.
It's more pagan than it is anything else, about going inward and really connecting to the divine healing and energy that we all know, right? And as women 2,000 years ago, it was instinctive for us. And then the Catholic Church decided they didn't want any of that. And that's why it was completely squashed. So if you're into Magdalene, you should definitely do our June course.
I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, you too, Patty? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that, I think we were talking about this too. I don't want to make the barrier to entry too much, but I think it would be useful if people, before they did the course, to read the Mary Magdalene manuscripts and maybe just the Gnostic Gospels. Or there's actually, there's one guy we know out of Minneapolis. He wrote the Gospel of Mary in Mark Madison.
Okay.
I just wrote about it. I did a book review on our, if you go to Blue Soul Earth and you just click on, I think it's under spiritual living, and you click on books or reads.
Okay.
Maybe 10 or 12 books that we're reading all simultaneously. And those books are listed on there. And they're these thin little books. You can get them on Amazon. So, maybe at a minimum we could do that. Because I think sometimes people are like, if I've got to read something, I don't want to do this. It's too much. So we could put it as recommended reading, but not mandatory.
I think it's important when you're going to do a course that you have a little bit of an idea of what you're putting your hands on, especially because you guys are very specific with the Gnostic Gospel, and it's fairly new to a lot of people. And I mean, for sure, I heard about it, but I wasn't really, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But now that it's talking to me, it's speaking to me more and more. And the more you understand it, actually, I think the more of the nature of that spirit becomes more, understood. And I think it's important, I think, that people do a little bit of that research beforehand.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Yeah.
Yeah. Then everybody's on the same page and nobody's asking that question, and then you're not